Hi, my name is Rebecca Rickey and I'm a senior at Bishop Healing Catholic High School in Sioux City. Today I'm going to teach you how to write a Congress bill for congressional debate. I've been a part of congressional debate since my freshman year of high school and I'm still very involved in it. The point of this type of debate is to talk about bills that should or shouldn't be passed into law. To start, you need to do some preliminary research. The goal is for you to write a bill that could be passed into law and work in our society today. This means that you can't choose something that is already a law, is unconstitutional, or is too unrealistic to work in our society. For example, throughout the speech, I will use a bill that I wrote this year. This is a bill to require voter IDs in order to perform the civic duty of voting. I researched this and came up with the idea by brainstorming with my debate coaches and teammates to think of something that wasn't a law but that we thought should be imposed in our country today. I thought the requirement of government-issued photo identification for voters would be an interesting idea that would offer two-sided debate in tournaments, which is something that you definitely want. Once you've come up with your idea, the next step is to research the idea to make sure that the law would be constitutional. Now, if there's anything in your bill that would make the law unconstitutional, you must come up with a new idea right away. But if there's something that isn't necessarily unconstitutional but will pose issues, it must be addressed in your bill. The issue that arose for my bill was the issue of cost. So government-issued photo identification has a price which varies depending on what identification you're getting. But we can't require people to pay to participate in the country's politics because that would be discriminatory against lesser represented races and classes. This had to be addressed in my speech, otherwise it would immediately be dismissed and the debate wouldn't last long, which is not what I want to happen. I have to work now to find a solution to the problem. I discovered that the easiest way is to use paperwork that is already filed through the government assistance programs such as welfare and use that as a waiver for the fees for the government identification. After I found the idea, researched its constitutionality, and solved the obvious issues that arose, such as the price, I needed to write and format the bill. So the NSDA, or the National Speech and Debate Association, has outlined very specific format that must be used for bills in Congress debate. A bill that is not formatted correctly will not be entered for debate. So now I'm going to give you guys each a sample of the bill so you can look at it and follow along with me. And I also have a sample here that I'll use to show you. So for starters, the heading is usually centered and in bold at the top. So the name of my bill is A Bill to Impose Stricter Voter Identification Requirements for Federal Elections. Then you must say, be it enacted by this Congress. Now, every line of your bill must be numbered to make it easier to identify during this, as the debate's going back and forth. So if you were to address an issue in my bill, you could say, for example, in line 7, you said this. So it's easier for the entire room to understand what you're talking about, and it just makes the whole thing flow easier instead of saying halfway through this section or something like that. The next step, once you have all of your lines numbered, is to split them into sections. So all the sections I have in bold and the sections I also have numbered. So I have 5 sections in my bill, which is pretty common. Usually it ranges from 4 to like 7 or 8 sections. And those are in bold and they are also numbered. Now there's something else that I didn't include in this bill that you could, and those are called subsections, which are usually used for definitions. So it would be obviously underneath of one section, and those would be numbered. So it would be in section 1, subsection A, you said blank. And then at the end you must say when the legislation will take effect. So in mine I said section 4, this legislation upon passage will take effect immediately. And then section 5, I said all laws in conflict with this legislation are hereby declared null and void. This makes it so if someone can't find a law that conflicts with this and use that as an argument against you, since the last section takes care of that and nullifies all those other laws that would pose an issue. Congress bills are very hard to write, but they're definitely worth the work. You must do plenty of research and work to make sure that the bill is formatted correctly and for it to work in tournaments. You also must put in a lot of time figuring out the constitutionality and also researching what laws we do and don't have. Thank you for listening to my speech, and I hope you are now able to write a bill for congressional debate.